back to News Geelong as we turn to the pulsating world of Geelong sport. Our own Flying Hawk, Nathan Curry. Good evening, Nathan.
Thanks very much, Rollo. I'm here at Waterworld and I'm not jumping into another pool. I'm here to talk to Corio Football Club's new coach, Mark McDowell. But before we do that, I caught up with my good friend, Damien Shanahan, the coach of the Geelong Cricket Club, to find out about everything happening down at the Cattery. Well, obviously you're happy with 2 wins in a row. Has there been any changes or have things just started to go your way?
Oh, not really. Like, we've had 2020 cricket throughout, late December, early January. That didn't quite pan out the way we would like for different reasons. So it was a really good win against Essendon, obviously 2 weeks ago, and then to back that up against a really strong Ringwood last week in a 2-dayer was a magnificent effort by the boys.
Well, you've got Dandenong this week. If you beat them, you can move into the top 2. Will you use that as motivation?
Oh, absolutely. It's it's game on. Ringwood last week was very tight as well as far as what positions on the ladder were. So it meant the world to us to win that game, and every game's a big game for us now. And obviously we've got Dandenong, Fitzroy, Doncaster, then Melbourne. So some really strong sides to play against, and Dandenong's going to be quite a big challenge for us. Well,
their opener, Nick Thomas, scored 137 not out last week. How will you approach him?
Yeah, look, we don't know a lot about him. We're still searching some information about him, but we'll stick to our plans and see how we go. Possibly they might have Siddle and Patterson as well, so to have a test bowler bowling for him might be a really good challenge for us as well. But we'll obviously know that later in the week. Well,
since we last spoke to you, you've been over to WA to help out the Bush Rangers. How did that go?
Yeah, I got a little bit of an invite to go over and assist in coaching over there. It was a great experience, and hopefully get a couple more opportunities as the season goes on. 3
of your young boys helped Victoria win the Under-19 Cricket Championships. What did you think of their performance?
We had Merrick in the Under-19s. He did, fantastically well, being a bottom age player in that. Well, super bottom age, being under 17, so super impressive. And he actually captained the under 17s in Tasmania in January. Did quite well as well with the rain affected carnival. Took 1-6 for it and made some runs as well. We both had Corey Ogle and Don McGlinchey opening the bowling for Victoria as well. So it was great to see those guys participate in that. And obviously Merrick and Corey both went up to the Australian Institute of Sport over the past week and done some testing, and the final score of say 25, I think it is, for moving forward for talent ID. So it's a great position the club to have 3 really exceptional young talented players, and they've really got big futures coming up. All right, well, Mark McDowell coached Corio in the late 80s and early 90s, but he's back in 2011 to help them get back on their feet, and I caught up with him earlier to find out his plan. Well, first of all, Mark, this is a really extraordinary thing to happen. How long ago did you first coach and play for Corio?
Okay, I first coached them back in 1987 and coached them for a 4-year period. There was 1 year in between that I wasn't coaching them, and then coached them through to 1992 as a playing coach.
Is that when you retired?
Yeah. That was the year, I think, at the conclusion of that 92 season, we played North Geelong in the grand final, and I was also running on the professional running circuit at the same time, and that year, that same season in 93, I was fortunate enough to run second in the Store Gift, and then decided to pull up on football and just really concentrate on professional athletics and try and chase winning the Store Gift. So, yeah, that was the last game of... That wasn't the last game of footy I played. I actually went and coached Geelong Amateurs as a non-playing coach some years later and filled in the seconds a couple of times, and a couple of times in the seniors for a few games. But basically, yeah, that's when I finished up playing.
Well, it's now 2011 and you're back coaching Corio. What was the move behind that decision?
Look, the real motivation for me was I watched the under-18s play North Geelong in the grand final, and they've really got some really good kids there that really go in hard at the ball and win contested football, and for me, it's about providing those young kids with an opportunity to play senior football, and that's what I enjoy about coaching it.
Well, if you only won 4 games last year, what will be a pass mark for 2011?
Oh, look, tough question. For me, like, they copped some hidings last year by 30 goals, right? That's not a pass. I'd like to think that, we will always be, no matter who we play, we'll be in the game, particularly until 3/4 time. That's one of the things that I've set in my mind, that I'd think anything more than a 10-goal getting beaten by 10 goals would be a bit disappointing, so that's one of the things. In terms of winning games, I know the top sides that were up the top of the ladder last year, there seems to be a bit of a gap between the top 5 or 6 players and then the rest, so there's a bit of a bridge there. But as long as we can mix it with those teams, I'd be pretty happy. But we'd be certainly looking for more than 4 wins. Yeah.
And finally, will your game plan that you used to coach sides back in the late 80s and early 90s changed for 2011 now?
Yeah, the crash and bash mentality will be gone. Look, yeah, no. Footy's moved on a long way, hasn't it? And we just need to, I need to get the guys into some inter-club practice matches, see what their strengths and weaknesses are, and then formulate a plan from that. Whether we're going to be kicking to tall options, whether we're going to be moving the ball as quickly as we can into the forward line, whether we're going to be trying to maintain keep the momentum with us or whatever it is. But we still need to get the group together to work out what our strengths and weaknesses are. But I guess it's back to old school as well. Old habits die hard, but I am a real fan of contested football and man on man and being accountable. So the thing that I will really bring to Corio will be particularly in the on-ball area. I'll be expecting on-ballers to be accountable, because what I see out there in local football, particularly GDFL, the games I've seen last year, is that there's not a lot of accountability around the midfield, and I really expect them to be accountable.
So that's it for sport this week. I'll be back on Wednesday night, but until then, it's back to you, Rollo.
Thank you, Nathan. Another report well done. The sunshine and warm temperatures have been welcome in and around Geelong over the past week. Will it continue? Joining us with the latest is sparkling Lani Salathiel. Good evening, Lani. What season lies ahead?
Thank you, Graham. Looks like cooler and rainy weather lies ahead as we take a look at the next 5 days forecast. Tomorrow, Saturday, will be a cloudy day with rain developing during the morning and a top temperature of 24. For Sunday, it's expected to be cloudy with some isolated showers during the morning and a top of 21. Starting off the week on Monday, we can expect a partly cloudy day with a shower or 2 developing in Geelong and a top of 24. Tuesday, again, will be a cloudy day with some isolated showers during the morning and a top of 22. And for Wednesday, it will be a mostly sunny day with a top of 27, warming up just a little bit for the week. And today we saw some cloudy conditions around Geelong with a few showers around this morning and some isolated thunderstorms possible tonight. We had a top of 31 today, and that's the weather for this Friday evening. Looks like a good weekend for a book or a DVD while lying on the couch. So until next Wednesday evening, it's back to you, Graham.
Thank you, Lani, and we'll see you next Wednesday evening. And thank you for being with us on News Geelong this Friday evening. Remember, teleprompter extraordinaire Cogsy, take your time and smell the flowers. From all the team at News Geelong, you have a pleasant evening, a safe weekend and a very good night.